Today, Kilroy goes off the shelf on buying used games. Now, there are three segments of our hobby on far as buying games. There's the predominant segment, which is most of us, if not almost all of us, we buy games to play. That is our primary purpose. It's a game, we want to play it. However, there is a segment of us that buy to collect. They might buy 2 copies and keep one to play, but then keep one that is kind of their collector's copy. However, there is a small segment of our hobby that really don't play the games that much. They really are buying them to collect. Now, all games are meant to be played. So my primary motivation is to play the game. So I buy games to play. However, I have a lot of games. I own a lot of games. So I do kind of fall into the somewhat of the third category, which is a hybrid of the two, in that I buy primarily to play, but I also want to keep a nice, good copy of my game. I keep the components nice. I try to treat it nice so that it's not necessarily a collector's copy, but I collect a lot of games. So if you are more of a collector and want that pristine copy, then buying used games is probably your last resort. You probably don't want to buy a lot of used games. You're looking for shrink wrap games or unpunched games that you can kind of verify that are in very good condition. For people that want a player's copy or want to play the game, which is me, then used games is an option. It's out there. But when you're buying a used games, there's some due diligence that you want to do. I mean, I have a video earlier that talks about where I get my games, online and very other friendly local gaming store and other sources. So you might want to check that out. But in any of those options, you kind of want to do your due diligence. So with used games, which can either come through auctions or the Console World Marketplace or stuff like that, you want to check the listing. You want to see, is it unpunched? Is it complete? You want to correspond with the seller. Send them emails, ask for pictures if they're willing to give pictures. Sometimes, they don't want to go through that hassle, but, getting a picture is picture's worth 1,000 words, right? But you want to correspond with the seller and try to get a complete picture of what you're buying, especially if the price is pretty high. You want to make sure you're buying a good copy of that. Also, you want to check the inventory, check BGG, check unboxing videos. That's why I do a lot of unboxing videos, because I use that as a tool to see what is in the box and see what I'm getting. So when I am corresponding with the seller or checking the listing, I get an idea of what I am buying. So those are just some, friendly tips when buying used games. But, not everybody has necessarily a horror story, but everybody has potentially a bad experience. I mean, one example here is, Cataphract for me. If you can see from this copy, it's very faded. And I didn't really understand, I didn't get any pictures of it, so I didn't really understand what was going on with this game, but it's very faded, and then even the counters are faded. So I never had that happen before, but if you can see there, some are more faded than others. The back sides are usually pretty good, but the front sides are very faded here. Now, from a collector standpoint, that might bother some of you guys, because, I mean, the counters are different colors because of they've been faded. I don't know if this game was left up and out in a sunny area or something, but, they are faded. But it's playable. There's nothing wrong with the playability. The colors are not that different or diluted that I can't play this game. So, this is a more of an example of, this is a player's copy. This is fine. Unless I, submit to my OCD, I'm probably going to, keep playing with this copy and keep using this copy. It's complete. Everything's there. Another thing that happens when you're buying used games is sometimes the rule book is annotated. This one here has notes throughout. Little annotations in the side there. Sometimes they're highlighted. I don't know if that bothers you guys. Sometimes they're just putting in the errata, but it's their interpretation of the errata sometimes. So that's something else that happens with a used copy. If you want a collector's copy, you're probably going to want something a little bit more pristine. this is a player's copy, and I'm fine with that, because I'm more of a hybrid. I buy, 75 to 80% of what I want is to play that game, if not even higher. But I do want to have a nice version that I can keep and treat nicely. Another example that I had recently is buying Twin Peaks. Now, this was a very, very low auction bid, so I wasn't too concerned, but I did correspond with them, and they said there were certain things that were missing from it. They said that there was a torn corner. I'm not wild about that, but it was a pretty low asking price, so didn't really care about that. It came with two counter sheets, or two counter trays, and I did my own inventory. That's another thing you have to do with used games. You're going to have to do an inventory. That's another reason why you might want to go to BGG or look at unboxing videos. The scans of counter sheets are your gold mine. You're going to need these scans of counter sheets if you want to do an accurate inventory to make sure that everything is in the box. Complete inventory, everything was in the box. Everything was great. The things that he said was missing, though, he said that it was missing one of the battle books. It was not missing that battle book. It was missing the other battle book. There's two battles in the Twin Peaks. It was missing the other battle book, but it was also missing all the supplements for that battle book. It was missing, the terrain effects chart, the combat charts. It was missing the holders, the cards that you use to hold the forces or show, the turn track, all that. It was missing all those elements. And so I corresponded with him after purchase, and the guy was great. He gave me a refund. I didn't even ask for it, but he said, yeah, I'll give you a refund on that, and refunded the shipping. So that was great. Then I reached out to the Board Game Geek community, and, several people that own this, they sent me scans. And so I was able to, there wasn't files on the site, so I was able to use those scans, and thank you to all you guys that responded to me on that. But I was able to get good scans and print those out, so I was able to play this game and have all the necessary player aids and charts that I needed. But I also reached out to GMT, and now for a cost, they had all the missing components. So I was able to get the battle book, from GMT, again, at a cost. I was able to get, the charts that I was missing at a cost again, and I was able to get, the two turn tracks for that battle. So I have a complete game now. I have a torn corner, but I have a complete game that is punched and complete, and have storage trays to boot. So at the end of the day, I had to pay a little bit extra to get those extra components, but I've got a complete game, and that's what I want. I want a player's game. I'm not looking to take this game and necessarily resell it. If you look at my collection, I don't get rid of anything hardly. Every once in a while I might trade or resell something, but very, very rarely do I do that. Again, that's the collector side of me. But anyway, so these are some thoughts I have on buying used. What is your thoughts? What tips do you have? Love to hear them. Thanks.